Hey, Hound Dogs, I'm David Hankins,
I'm Paul Hankins.
and welcome to A Week in Power Squared. Before we get into the meat of our video, we thought we'd talk a little bit about our newsletter, which is celebrating its first anniversary. It's the Hound Dogs Howl and the Bark. Hound Dogs Howl is now the monthly newsletter that we put out, and the Bark is a more of a bite-sized, slightly smaller version
Yeah.
that we put out on those weeks in between. So we've been doing it now for a year.
Yes.
And I just want to, give ourselves a little, break our arms, pat ourselves on the back. If you'd like to subscribe, you can by going to powersquaredcomicbook.com/join. And there's a place there where you can sign up for the newsletter. And if you do, you'll receive the first issue free.
Yes.
What a great offer. So the big news this week was that San Diego Comic-Con, which is where we're wearing these t-shirts, has canceled for this year.
Yes.
Due to the coronavirus. And we thought we'd talk a little bit about, it's a big hole in the middle of July that we're not going to be able to fill, but it's also a little bit, I'll say a little hole in our hearts because I really like going to it.
Yeah.
And it's really sad that this year we will not be doing it.
Yeah. So we thought instead we'd reminisce for a bit.
With a little blurry, yeah. So we've gone, it's not like a record, but we've gone 13 times.
Yeah.
It's been around for 50 years. And so I guess the first time we went was, I think we had 4-day tickets, but we went one day.
Yeah.
That was a Saturday because it was the first time we'd ever been, didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
Do you remember doing that?
Yeah. I remember we also took the tram.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, someone told us it'd be a good idea to park at
Like
Qualcomm and take the train down.
Yeah.
And
You don't want to do that.
yeah, no, that was like, it took way longer than you would have hoped. And I guess we did that a couple of years. We took the train in from Qualcomm.
Yeah.
And I remember like the second or third year, it was just sort of your anticipation starts to numb because it's so long to get down there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I remember the first year we went, we had already had tickets, but there were people in line to buy tickets for that day. And I don't think I've actually seen that since.
Well,
I don't remember seeing it since.
Well, not since it started like selling out.
Yeah. I mean, it was like you could still get tickets the day of the show.
Yeah. Used to be able to do that.
Yeah. No more walk-up traffic. Yeah. So it was, I don't have distinct memories of the first time. I remember we just walked the floor.
Yeah, it was kind of uneventful. So that's why we don't remember too much of it.
Yeah. And so we went back again for another. We used to go down there and do something else on the weekend, do Comic-Con and like go to the zoo or something.
Yeah. Or Legoland.
Or Legoland. And we have stopped doing that second thing, and now it's just been going to Comic-Con.
Yeah.
And it's been, we've been pretty lucky about going 4 days. It's the elusive preview night that's always hard to get.
Yeah.
Or had been until we were given professional status for last year's.
Yes. Thanks to the comic book this channel is based on.
Yes, Power Squared. So it's a lot of, I know that the first time, and it was a lot of merch and things like that. I mean, that was kind of I remember the booths and everything.
Yeah.
And I know that we sort of developed into more I kind of look at it, we kind of went through phases of sort of the fandom stuff.
Yeah.
And all the merch and the artists you get to meet and the people's, it used to be a lot more autographs we would get than we do now.
Yeah. Because we couldn't like control ourselves.
And then you guys dressed up at least 1 year, 2 years?
A couple years.
Yeah.
We tried cosplaying and we eventually stopped doing it because it would take too much time out of the morning.
Right. And then you go to panels to learn about, what's going on in Transformers or, what's going on in sort of more the fun part of the industry.
Yeah.
And then we started going to course or classes, programs that were a little more how to do something.
Yeah.
Even before I think we started doing this comic book, we were going to some of those kind of classes.
Yeah.
And again, I remember we went to see, was it Tyke Kubo, and and the panel before that, I think we went to the panel before that because you'd have to like sit through a couple to get something like that, and they were doing Watching the Watchmen as a book, and then we got interested in the Watchmen based on that. It was just how much do we not know about this industry? The Watchmen, what's that? And it's like, this classic.
But I do remember Taikubo was the first panel we actually tried to get on.
Right. Okay. But we got on the idea we had to sit through. The line was pretty long, so we had to sit through a couple. Before that, and that's been sort of the general way it's worked, is that you kind of sit through a panel before the panel you want to sit in.
Yeah.
And sometimes, again, like we went to a panel about Dracula.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, we should read that book, and I've kind of liked that kind of accidental learning about something a lot of times.
Yeah.
Rather than the panel that you went to or wanted to go to.
Right.
And sometimes those have usually been worthwhile waiting for.
Yeah.
What was it last year? The one that we stood in line separately, and then you guys were in for like 2 panels before we got in or something.
Yeah, I was trying to get into the panel where Hideo Kojima was talking about Death Stranding, and a couple panels before that, one of them was about forgive me for not remembering this, but it was a D&D stream involving voice actors. And then there was also Sesame Street.
Yeah, so we made it in for Kojima.
Yeah.
So we were like in lines for 2 hours. And then after Kojima was What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a couple hours. And then sometimes I remember going to anime at like 11 o'clock at night and be really tired. It was.
Yeah.
And then for a while we were doing, you'd get up, you'd be there at 5 a.m, so you get in line, and then you'd say we were doing the comic book creator connection, and that was like 7 at night, and that was 2 hours.
Yeah.
It was like 9 o'clock at night. Then we go have dinner, and then we go back to try to watch anime, and it was just like, oh god, it was really hard.
But because of the anime screenings, we've watched things that got into things we normally wouldn't have gotten into.
Yeah, we've watched some weird stuff too.
Like I think we actually watched Attack on Titan after that.
Yeah, but you were aware of it before, weren't you?
Yeah, kind of.
And they showed like episode 2 instead of episode 1, and of course they want to be authentic, so they show it in Japanese, which is okay. Why are you doing this to me? We saw that. What was the one with the girls with the guns, or the girls were guns?
Oh, Upote?
Yeah. That was weird.
And then
we ended up watching that series.
And was that worth it?
It was just strange. I just remember it being one of the weirdest concepts I heard of. And then it was just like, let's watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty
I
strange.
think we also watched Baka and Test because of
Yeah. And so it's been kind of, it exposed you to a lot of things you wouldn't normally get exposed to.
Yeah.
And it's been nice being able to walk around, I guess, the floor and go to the programs, because I wonder if you really work in a booth, you probably don't get out very much.
Yeah.
And so you're there for a different reason than people like us who just kind of go and walk around. It'd be nice someday to actually have a table or something, but we're not there yet.
No. Plus, it's expensive to have a table there.
Yeah, you'd have to make that but exhibitors get in early.
Yeah.
That'd be the one advantage. Yeah. So, anything else you want to talk about at the Comic-Con?
Well, I think the thing that people always get in their heads that they'll meet a lot of celebrities.
Yeah.
You can meet a lot of celebrities, but you have to really work for it.
Right.
Or sometimes you'll stumble on it by accident. Like, one year, Shout Factory, they had a poster for UHF.
Right.
They were going to have a signing with that. And we asked about the poster. They were like, oh, Weird Al's going to come by and do a signing. You want to meet him? We're like, okay.
Yeah.
And just like that, we got to meet Weird Al.
But right before that, we met Kirk Hammett.
Kirk Hammett?
Yeah.
Yeah.
From Metallica. Because he was there about his own line of zombie toys or whatever.
Yeah, he was starting a toy company.
Right. And so he was there. So right before we met Weird Al, we met him.
Yeah.
So it was like, and we also met the, I can't think of the name of the group.
The AWPS?
AWPS, yeah.
Yeah, they were fun.
Yeah. And then we met Joel Hodgson from Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Yeah.
That was one of the first lineups we did for a signature. And he was like, he came in, like, shook everyone's hand beforehand.
Yeah.
Thanked you for coming, blah, blah, blah. That was really cool.
I was like really grateful.
Right. So, yeah. So it's been, yeah. But we've never been to Hall H.
No.
So we don't know what great, stuff you walk away with from that.
We've always been 5 feet away from Hall H.
Yeah. Yeah, there's this little, between Hall G and H is like this little, what do you call it, accordion wall.
Yeah.
Like you could almost, you at least hear what's going on in there and stuff. But,
Yeah.
Yeah. And almost sneak in. But yeah, we've never gone to that. And there've been times where there have been some times where Hall H was like looking for people to come, because usually it's like people wait overnight for that.
Yeah.
Or 2 nights ahead or whatever for Hall H.
The only time I remember them being desperate enough to announce Hall H was the Netflix Death Note. But didn't they also do that with something else?
I remember there was something with Will Smith in it. They were looking for people to come.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. I remember, and sometimes it's not full because I remember RIPD.
Yeah.
And that was disappointing because it was not that many people showed up. And I know that the actor guy wasn't happy about it.
Yeah.
There's been people that have gone and stopped going. The webcomic you follow.
Yeah, Penny Arcade.
Right.
Although, in the case of Penny Arcade, they were personally getting like too exhausted with Comic-Con. And then also now they have like 5 different conventions of their own to run.
Right.
So the one year they didn't show up because it was a scheduling error. And then the year after that was the last time they showed up. So we tried to get as many signatures as humanly possible.
Right. So.
Plus at Comic-Con, you could have actually talked to them for like 5 whole minutes.
Yeah. That was pretty nice about them. They would sit there and let you. What was the saying? They'd sign it if it didn't.
If it didn't burn by your sting.
Right. So they were pretty cool about that stuff. And it's been nice to meet people that you would normally ever meet.
Yeah.
And so that's been kind of cool. I have enjoyed that part of it. And it's as exhausting as it is, long days, and there's a lot of walking. And even if we've been able to park at the convention center, so I have to drive back out to the hotel, walk to dinner. It's still a long day. And then, but at the end of it, I don't want to leave.
Yeah.
And it's really a shell shock to come back to, I'll say, reality. And it's not as cool as Comic-Con had been.
Yeah.
Which is just really disappointing.
Yeah.
All right. And it was also, Comic-Con was kind of behind us wanting to do Power Square in the first place.
Yeah.
So it means a lot to us. So I'm sorry it will be canceled this year. Hopefully next year we'll be there.
Yeah. If you like this video, leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more, ring the notification bell if you want to see exactly when these videos go up, and leave a comment if you have any experiences with Comic-Con you'd like to share.
Right. And if you're disappointed about not being able to go to Comic-Con, we do have a poll question up on our website, powersquarecomicbook.com/poll, where we're asking people about what they're going to miss most about comic books during the coronavirus pandemic. And one of those choices is, of course, not being able to go to a comic book convention.
Yeah.
So we'd like to see if you really like to hear from you on that. So if you please go and vote if there's something that you really miss.
Yeah.
All right. So until next week, I'm David Hankins.
I'm Paul Hankins.
And this has been A Week in Power Squared.